I know that busted canvases have been all the rage the last year or two, so I thought, let's try something a little smaller. Hi, this is Kelly with Kelly's Creative Dream Studios, and welcome to Tag Tuesday. And we're going to do a busted canvas of sorts today. Now, a couple of things I want you to be aware of. Number one, I did not have any Shamrock St. Patrick's Day themed paper in my collection at all. Over 150 paper pads from Stampin' Up! No Shamrocks. I have one set of St. Patrick's Day stamps. They were mostly dollar stamps from Michaels. The pattern for the Shamrock was too big, so I went looking for digi paper. When I didn't find any at Hobby Lobby first, and as I was looking for paper in Hobby Lobby, I'm like, Etsy, duh. So I came home and got on Etsy, and I found Jenny's All Sorts Digis, Jennys, All Sorts Digis. I will link her shop down below. Please go check her out. She's got some really pretty ones. The other thing is I'm going to link another shop down there. If your style leans more towards the vintage, I had to go in and buy a couple of sets from another designer, and I didn't even look at the designer's name. I just put them in my cart and bought them. But they have more of a vintage flair to them, and I'm going to be using them in a future project. So I will link those down below too, so if you want to grab those and be prepared to come tag along or play along, as it may be, you can do that ahead of time. Now, busted canvases. They have a back with a design, and then there's a top layer. Usually with canvases, they've got a depth to them, but with a tag, you don't really need the depth. Now, I had thought about using my dimensional foam and creating a frame, but when I laid it over top of it, I decided it didn't really need it. So, for the base of the tag that has this on it, we're going to use the heavy cardstock. Now, in this one, I used the heavy cardstock for both layers, and it was almost too heavy trying to curl these back. So I went to a lighter weight cardstock for the one we're going to do today. So I'm starting with a heavyweight cardstock, and I'm going to use my gluer here. And I am using papers from, it's from an old Stampin' Up! Set, Print Poetry. And there's just a little bit of everything in here, but it had, I like that green background to this one. So we went with that, and I'm going to glue that into place. Let me sit down. Now we will be using the hot glue gun, so I have my hot glue gun heating up, and it'll be ready to go when we are, hopefully. And this one is about out of glue, but I'm still trying to nurse it out as much as I can and get as much of it out of this bottle as I can. I took and filled one of my little bottles of this. I'm tired of not having a really fine line when I need it, and I think this one just squirted its last. But let me see if we can get the last of it out of here. Nope, we're done. We're done. Okay, but I have a new bottle ready to unwrap, and I guess maybe it's not glued up like the ones from Stampin' Up! Are. These were ones that I ordered at Amazon. And then I have my silicone spreader because I want a nice smooth surface on this, and I want to make sure I get the edges. So I'm going off the edges, and that's okay because I can clean this up later. So I've got a nice smooth surface of my glue, and I'm going to leave that right there and let it dry. And we're going to put this one down. Now, as soon as I have this in place, I'm going to pick it up and lay it out to the side and wipe up my glue, because I will have glue in everything if I don't. So there's that. Okay, now my makeup roller is drying. I had to glue the handle back on, and you know, it's $1.25. I could have just thrown it away, but you know, E6000 to the rescue, and we're good. Now, so I'm rolling this into place, making sure I get a good adhesion on that background. And that's pretty much all we're going to do to this background, except I am going to come back and trim those white pieces off. And I think I'm going to use my glue scissors for this, in case I get any. And I'm just going to, now if you want to trim up to an edge, kind of hold your scissors at a 45-degree angle and you'll get a much cleaner edge cut if you do that. Now this video is probably not going to come up until Tuesday afternoon, because when I plug it in the morning to upload, I can't upload it till I get up, and it'll take it somewhere between 3 to 4 hours. Depending on what time I get out of bed will determine how late, if you get up before noon or not. When I do the collab for the 17th and the 27th for JJ with Joy, I am taking a hotel night and using their Wi-Fi to upload my videos. Okay, so we have our base and it's on the heavy cardstock. I'm going to lay this aside and let it dry for a minute. And then we're going to talk about the front. Now I found this paper, again from Stampin' Up. Let me move stuff here. It's from their By the Sea collection. It was in their mini 2023 catalog. And it has all these little sea-type things, but I like this, that it looked like we were standing on the beach, looking across the horizon, and it was just perfect for this. So I've cut that to fit the lighter weight cardstock. Now we're going to be gluing on 2 sides here, so I'm going to glue the back first, and this was the Shamrock Digital that I purchased from Jenny's All Sorts Designs. And we're going to come back in here with our glue. And yes, this is the back of the tag, but when we cut it, our design is going to be up front. So it doesn't matter that there's anything on the back. We're not going to see it. Okay, and I'm going to lay that aside. Lay this down. Try to get as straight as I can. There we go. Then we'll pick this up and lay it aside while we wipe off. Now this really should be a baby wipe, and technically it is. There's just nothing left in the baby wipe anymore. So I'm going to go ahead, and I keep these small bottles of hand sanitizer handy. And I get them, believe it or not, a lot of them I get from my local hotel when I stay at Comfort Suites in Springfield. They give me one or 2, whatever I ask for. Can I have a couple of those? Okay, so there's that. Now we have this. And I'm going to go ahead and roll it out. And this is my mini brayer from Tim. I believe this is from Tim Holtz. I love the mini brayer just for this. Okay, so this is going to be what goes on top. This is the front of our card. So I'm going to have to go back through here and do the glue again. Try not to let it stick to me. I've gotten with as bad as I am with liquid glue, that I keep sanitizer handy because it gets the glue off my hands as well. Now I'm going to make sure I'm going clean to the edges because I want those edges to really catch the glue and adhere together good. Okay, take that. And I think this is an all-over pattern, so there really isn't any for upside down or right side up. But on the front of the card there is, because I want this sandy beach looking thing to be on the bottom of the tag. Okay. Now the thing about rolling off with your glue is you need to make sure that you don't pick up any glue on your brayer and then spread it all over your paper. That's really easy to do. Okay. So now that we have this, and I'm done gluing this for now, I'm going to move this aside. The other thing I like about this brayer is it has little feet, so you can set it down, and whatever's on your brayer doesn't get on your work surface. I like that about that. Okay, now, so we have this, and we have these. Whoops, let's put it right side up. Okay. Okay, so this is where our shamrock, I started re-recording this, so let me show you what we're working with. Aside from the papers from Jenny's All Sorts Digis and Stampin' Up's By the Sea, we're also using stickers from Hobby Lobby, and I should have got 2 sets. That's why I did the shamrock or the leprechaun and this type of pot of gold and this one, because I wanted to use this set in the one we do together. And this is going to let us see the rainbow and the pot of gold through the opening, and then we'll have our gnome down in the bottom. So before I do anything else, we're going to move this one aside, and we're going to come back to our background. Now see, it's white on the back, so nothing to worry about. And I'm going to go ahead and trim this off. And trim this off just like this. Okay, so there's that. Okay. Now, as I said, I wanted to use these in the front. I wanted to have the effect of the gnome busting through a wall and finding the pot of gold. And the rainbow. You got to have the rainbow, right? So we're going to use the pot of gold. Right about there. I'm not going to press that down tight. I may need to lift it up. And I want to use this partial rainbow so that it looks like the pot of gold is literally at the bottom of the rainbow. There we go. So there's that. So yeah, those are going to fit just like that. And then when we put our opening over there, the canvas will pop through and we will see, let me get some of these glues up here. We will see that our gnome has found his pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. So let's get the glue off my fingers so that I'm not sticking to everything. And I see I have some to trim on this one. So I'm going to trim that off, just like that. I think we're good every place else. Okay, now how do we determine where our opening is? Well, I got a couple of tricks. When it comes to tags, let me see if I have, these are all, what I would normally do, and I didn't think about to do this earlier, I just got the idea right this minute. So I'm going to ask you to hold that thought, and I'll be right back. The cascading of the waterfall. Did you hear the thunder? Okay. The die box I wanted was on the very bottom, and it's very heavy because it's all dies, and that's why it's on the bottom shelf. And I didn't realize the box I needed to move was sitting on top of another one. What I want is an oval frame. So I'm going to go to Frames and Shapes. Don't want a circle. I want an oval. That one maybe, but it's not necessarily the one I'm after. Tim's isn't big enough. Those are circles. There we go. We're going to go with this set. Okay. And I'm not going to need to cut anything out. With this, what I want to do is just get an idea of where this needs to go. And you can see that if I lay that right there, see if this one will work. That one would give us enough. This one I think would also give us enough. Might even give us too much. But I am looking at using an oval frame. See, that one doesn't give me enough. That one's too small. We need to use this one. And it will give me an idea of where I need to cut. So if I do this, and I can tell right where that's at, I'm going to flip this over so that my markings are on the back. Okay. And I can tell that needs to pretty much be centered right there. And then I'm just going to make a pin dot, just like that. So see, your dies aren't just for dies. They make excellent templates. And then I need to bring my cutting board over here. And I want to go in different directions. And I think I want my glasses on for this. Not for protection, but so I can see for sure. Whoops, that didn't help. That made it worse. Okay, so I want to go in different directions. And I want to cut. And I want some thin ones. I don't want them all the same size. Let's go this way. And go this way. And you're just going to make slits off of that center hole. And you're going to want to make sure that everything cuts through. Now when I did this, and I used the heavier weight cardstock, it was really hard to roll those back because there was so much weight in that paper. Then we go this. Whoops. See, that's still wet, so I want to come back this way and come at that point. Just like that. And see, we've got this whole side over here we need to come at. And you want your slits to be different widths. So this one I can make rather wide. But I will tell you that unlike on a canvas, you're going to want to make them a little narrower because you don't have all that real estate to work with. Okay, now that we have those and we make sure they're all back, what I did was I used my little slick pointer. You can use a pencil, just something to give me a little bit of curve and get it started, just like that. And roll it out as far as it'll go. Now see, this one needs to go out a little farther, because it doesn't want to go all the way. I'm going to cut that just a little bit wider. There we go. And we're going to roll this out just like this. Okay, and then we're going to come back with this one. And I'll lay that down out of the way. I've started curling it, but I'll lay it down out of the way. But when I use the heavier cardstock for this, it didn't roll very well. It wasn't as smooth, so I needed to use that lighter weight cardstock for this. And let's get that one out of the way so we can roll. Get that one out of the way and come back and get this one. And you're just going to work your way all the way around. Because you need that opening, so when you pull them back, you're going to be able to see that rainbow and that pot of gold in the background. Now I lay it down. Don't try to do this up in the air. You'll not have much luck. Okay. See, that one almost didn't go all the way through. So, as I said, I'm going to be doing the collab with JJ with Joy. I have the 17th and the 27th. And because my videos need to be between 20 and 30 minutes long, I'm going to go to a hotel. I'm getting them both recorded this week. And then I'm going to a hotel so I can upload them. Know that they upload in a timely manner on somebody else's Wi-Fi, because it would eat up all of my Wi-Fi to do those two. And so I can have them scheduled and know that they're going to go up when they're supposed to. Now I have 3 more here to do. So we're going to punch those down. And just kind of roll them up. Now this is a little more tedious when you're doing it with this as opposed to a big 8.5 by 11 canvas. And I'm going to cut this one down here just a little bit more so they've got room to curl. Bump that one out of my way. Roll this one around. And now I need to know both of those out of my way. I can move this one. Now, the one thing you want to be careful with. Number one, you do need to use a hot glue for this, because I don't think anything else is going to hold them. And number two, whoops, let me move my die box out of the way. Number two, it's going to be very hot, so you need to be careful, okay? So I have my glue gun here, and I'm going to move my glue mat over here so I can just lay my glue gun down over here instead of trying to hang it up all the time. And I should be good to go. I'm going to squeeze Make sure I got glue. And then you're going to take, I'm going to try and stay in frame here. I'm going to take this and put just a dab of glue. Whoops, just a dab of glue on your hot little finger. And then you're going to curve this around, because you've already started curling it, so it has a start. And that's the whole point of going around and starting to sensitize them to being able to curl around, okay? And we have that one, and then this one needs to curl around. So I'm going to give it a curl, give it a little encouragement, put a little bit of glue on there. Now I could use my finger caught for this, but I tried it with my finger caught. My finger caught is too big for my finger, so it really didn't help. But this little silicone thing is perfect for encouraging that to go where you want it to go. And while if you get a little excess glue while it's still warm, go ahead and wipe it off. Then we're going to push this one around. And that had room to go. It just didn't want to go. I'll put a little right there. And then I'm going to use this to curve this around. Use my tip to hold that in till it sets up a minute. Okay. Bring this one around. A little bit of glue. Now, if you get glue on your project somewhere that you don't want it, let it dry. Don't burn your fingers. Let it dry and then come back with a glue eraser. And if you don't have a glue eraser, it is one product I really guarantee you need to have in your craft room. Because you're inevitably going to get glue somewhere where you don't want it. And in trying to just wipe it off, you're just going to make matters worse. Now you could use a bone folder for this as well. But a bone folder is not going to let you come in and wipe away your glue. Okay. Now with this one, I came in earlier on my other one and I cut just a little bit through the glue, and then I was able to pick it off, and it didn't. Now this one did tear my paper, but we can fix that. But the other one I did it on, it didn't even tear my paper. But I'll show you how we'll fix that here in just a minute. We've got a few more of these to go. And I thought I'd make this a slightly longer video because I'd like to see how long it's going to take if I had to upload it home. I can't now. My room is booked, and it's they're going to keep my money, so they're guaranteed they're getting money out of me. Okay, now we're going to curl this one around. I thought this was kind of a fun project. It was something different. Okay, so it's going to be a little bumpy to put in a pocket in your journal, but wouldn't this be cool as part of your front cover design? Wouldn't that be awesome to put it on your front cover? Now I'm going to try and get that one to curve. It doesn't want to curve. There we go. Put this on your front cover as part of a layering. You don't want to just slap this on the front of a cover. And I may use one in a journal that I want to work on, St. Patty's Day journal that I want to work on. So we may get the opportunity to do that. And while you could just slap it on the front of a cover and call it good, you're going to have more of an effect if you actually layer it with, say, some cheesecloth or some greenery, a little bit of wood trim. Thought I had a piece over here. Give it some texture behind it and lift it up, and you'll have more of an impact on your cover. Take and move this one here. Now I already have my design in mind for my first project with the JJ with Joy project collab. Already have that. I'm going to link the JJ with Joy links in the bottom or in the description box below. They started March 1st, and I've not had a chance to go in and watch the other girls, partly because I don't want to be influenced by their creativity. So that's one of my projects when I need some downtime and I'm done working on my book for the day at the hotel. I want to go in and watch some of the other girls' videos. I got a couple of friends that are on there as part of the design team, and how I found out about that. Thank you, Dorothy. On how I found out about the project and the call out for designers and creators. Okay, now we can get rid of the... There we go. Now, we have this. Now, I do have some spots where I have some glue. Now, aside on my fingers, of course. But see, I've got this little spot here. And it almost looks like raindrops. But I'm going to see if I can get them to go away with the eraser first. Look at that. Look at that. That was perfect. That was perfect. Now, there's some strings over here. I can also come in with my heat gun and take those out. Okay, so now we have this, and we have this, and we're going to move this off to the side. Bring our glue mat back over that's full of glue, because, you know, we were gluing. And I'm going to bring this back up, because I don't want the glue on my project. So I want to get this wiped off of here, so we can start fresh if possible. And this video would probably be shorter if I didn't take time to do that first. But now we can take and run glue along the back edge, since we opened the glue, around this back edge. And I don't need to do it everywhere, I just need to do it on the edge. But I am going to go in the corners a little bit, I think. Okay? And then we have this one. Make sure our rainbow is down, our stickers are down good. And make sure we're going right side up, because remember, we need this sand on the bottom. We need that beachy look. And there we go. There is our busted canvas. Apparently, I can't glue straight. There we go. There's our busted canvas. See, we can, our gnome is going to be able to see the rainbow and the pot of gold where he has busted through, and we're going to bring him up, and I really think I like this little guy right here, and we're going to put him right here. I think he's got a little bit more room on this side than on the other side, and he's celebrating because he has found his pot of gold. And then we're going to add a couple more of these little shamrocks down here. As soon as I get a hold of it. Do we have any glue spots that look like they were in the way? I think we're good. Even the spot I thought we tore isn't showing. Nice. Oh, there he is. There he is. Found him. Put him right here. Cover up that spot that we tore. And there is our busted canvas on a tag. Now, I'm not going to tag the corners because I'm going to use this as the front of a journal, but you could tag the corners and just add it to a tag ring and you'd be good to go. So that's going to do it for me in the studio today. Not sure if there... Oh, yes, I have a Stampin' Up! Haul video coming tomorrow. It's a very short one, so don't blink or you'll miss it. In the meantime, please remember to like, to share, subscribe, and creative blessings.